Driver, start your engine! In the beginning, stock cars outran the police to deliver the hooch to our ancestors. So sweet. Are you ready for a trip down victory lane, where Richard Petty's winnings were insane and Dale Earnhardt put everyone to shame? Canadian Junior Handley is in the Hall of Fame. Live from Haldeman County, it's time for the Driver in Deep podcast. Are you ready?
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for episode 34. And no, that's not AM 34. It's episode 34 of Driver in Deep, brought to you by wingnutsports.com. You all know Alex Nagy, and I'm Mark McSporran. Our guest today, Jamie Cox, is another well-decorated short tracker from the London, Ontario area, where his home track is none other than Delaware Speedway.
I apologize, buddy. I didn't text you AM 34 twice last night for Austin's both goals. But anyways, listen.
Don't worry,
right.
Mike Beckman did it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mikey. Listen, Jamie is a great guy and a hell of a racer. And he's won so many championships at Delaware Speedway that I never realized. We'll talk about that later, but just a huge amount of championships. What a great guy. What a champion. And I'm looking forward to him joining us. But listen, before we get into this, and all your BS about Buffalo, blah, blah, blah. Quickly, before we get started, if you haven't, head to our Facebook page. Just search for Wingnut Sports and like our page so you can follow us along.
Yeah, you know what? The Facebook page has been awesome. We're getting thousands of impressions every week. Thank you, everybody who's taking the time to go there, watch what we're doing, listen to what we're doing. We really appreciate it. And also, follow us both on Twitter and Instagram. We're at Wingnut Sports. Or check out our website at wingnutsports.com, where you'll also see our show notes for each episode. And finally, if you're a YouTube fan, search for Wingnut Sports and be sure to subscribe to our channel if that's how you prefer to listen to your podcasts.
Yeah, and I also want to remind everybody to send us a message through our Facebook page if you hear something you like or don't like, or for any partnership opportunities. Listen, to be honest, I'm tired of hearing from Gooder, Beckman, like all your... I shouldn't even say nothing about your friends, but
you'd rather be doing a sponsor read?
I'd rather be doing a sponsor read. We're always looking for feedback, and we're always looking for new partners, and I'll just leave it at that. So,
all right. Well, also don't forget to check out drivercal.com because they are still sponsoring us. We're just looking for more.
Yeah, and Brad and his crew at DriverCal, man, they made some huge inroads, and I hope we had a small part in it. And they're going to be great next season. So, getting back to the podcast, listen, I'm not even going to bring up anything Buffalo because all last week, man, you were cranky as hell. I said to Sandy, phone Joni, see if him and Mark want to go disc golfing. So Sandy and I took you and Joni disc golfing to a brand new course to us. Beautiful place. I thought maybe that'll help you being such a bitch, but nope, super miserable still. And it didn't even help. You know what? You were miserable before you even threw like shit. And after that, it was, you couldn't even talk to you. Then we go out. I said, okay, listen to Sandy on the side. I said, listen, the dude, I don't know what's wrong with him. Let's go out for dinner after. We'll head into Waterdown, go for some dinner. We do it. Of course, the restaurant's garbage, the food's junk. Then finally, we get some beers, and that's the first time in about 7 hours you cracked a bit of a smile. The server dropped that beer in front of you, and all of a sudden, you know, there was a bit of movement. I'm like, dude, what's going on?
All right, here we go. Hang on a sec.
Keep it short. People are, oh, gooder.
Kevin. So, Alex, you might not want to bring it up, but I'm going to. The Sabres are doing just fine. You know, 2 close West Coast games. We should have had the one in LA.
They're heading back to below 500.
No, we should have had the one in LA. Still miles ahead of the Leafs. But listen, we got one more West Coast game tonight against the Kraken before we do head home. All in all, pretty good start considering Sabres are down their top 3 centers. Eichel, Middlestat, and Cody Eakin, who did just come back last night. Top 3 centers. You know who else was down their top 3 centers? How about
who?
Las Vegas last night. They're down their top 3 centers, so no wonder. I'm going to get to that in a second. But anyway, Eakin's back after 2 weeks on the IL. And Alex, just imagine how good the Sabres are going to be when the Eichel trade's finally done. Plus, for all you TML groupies out there, and I think I heard from all of you, like our colorblind flagger friend Gibbs, Mike, Milton Road, wannabe Beckman, and yourself, even though you won't admit it, you know, I don't know how you could be anything but worried about the Leafs right now. They played the Henderson, Nevada Golden Knights last night, who were missing 3 centermen of their own and 2 left wingers. I think Marner scored his first goal since he played junior hockey last night.
Second.
Oh, yeah, second goal? Okay, since junior hockey, yeah. And Ron Jeremy's estranged son, Austin Matthews, he scored his first on what I would call a friendly wrist shot. It was more like a knuckleball, and then a garbage goal. So now, after all that, he's just tied with Jeff Skinner on the season for goals.
Jeff Skinner, AHL stats don't count. You can't compare AHL stats to the NHL, buddy. And listen, if Austin Matthews is Ron Jeremy's estranged son.
Looks like it.
Dude, he's not going to have to score another goal in his life. Let's be honest. Jesus.
Well, I don't think he's ever going to score as much as his father in that case. But anyway, let's talk about disc golf. There is no bad day when you're playing disc golf, first of all.
I just said at the start, dude, at the start of this thing, it's no Buffalo. You're tired of hearing your bullshit about disc golf, Buffalo this, Buffalo that. What are you talking? Where are you going?
I'm telling you, you also brought up disc golf, and I wanted to
I just mentioned it because you're miserable.
Okay, well, listen, I'm responding to that. There's no bad day when you're playing disc golf. Yeah, you know what? I was a little rusty because I've been traveling and I haven't been able to play in over 2 weeks. And I did want to go earlier in the day so I could watch the Bills play, but no, I got a lot of flack about that. But you didn't see me complaining out there on the course, especially when we went back and I was able to find my judge that was almost swallowed by a tree, but we finally got it down. My disc retriever, which, by the way, has paid for itself probably a few times over already. And I think it saved one of yours too, but you know what? I didn't see no rental fee from you.
You were so miserable.
I was not miserable.
You were like a little bitch because we weren't going to be back in time for the 1:00 start of the Bills game. I told you, stay home. Joni will come. Everybody's happy.
No, next week we will.
Dude, I like your wife way more than you anyway.
Well, I know because you can still beat her at disc golf.
Right. And well, listen.
Not for long though, the way they're playing.
On last Sunday?
Yeah.
You talked about your disc in a tree?
Yeah.
You forgot to say you stood in the bush and you threw 2 of your favorite putters in the same tree at the same, like one after another.
Yeah.
And at that point, I said to Sandy, we might as well head to the car because this guy is so friggin' miserable.
They were just practice shots. I was waiting for you. It took you forever to shoot. So I thought, well, why don't I take a couple extra shots? You know, and almost made it, by the way. But anyway.
Moving on.
Yeah. All right. As far as Boston Pizza is concerned,
moving on.
No. I want to talk about Boston Pizza. We waited 15 minutes just for someone to acknowledge us when we walked in at the door.
Nobody could get help.
Well, come on. There's some girl over there cleaning a table, not even paying attention. She could have checked our COVID vaccines and all that stuff, but no, nobody came over. And then to top the whole thing off,
your boy Trudeau's paying everybody to stay home. Nobody wants to work.
Well, that's true. But then to top the whole thing off, does nobody want to order any beer either? Because how do you run out of Bud Light? It's like the #1 selling beer, and they ran out. So you can't order an extra keg? There's no backup keg? I don't know. Anyway, just so you know, the Bills play at 1:00 this Sunday. I'm letting everybody know. So if the weather cooperates and we go and play disc golf, I'm just making it very clear that I'll be watching the football game at 1.
You're right, because you will not be disc golfing with me. I do not plan my life around. If you would rather watch somebody play some sport
my team
than yourself and participate in a sport,
why can't you do both?
A loser. You can't.
Why can't you do both?
One or the other.
Well, you should be able to, is all I'm saying. But anyway, before we get to Jamie, I have a question about short track racing.
Oh, great. What do you know about short track racing?
Well, I'm not going to get into NASCAR because I'm still confused by that whole thing. Although I am glad that they probably were watching the fall brawl because it looks like they're mixing it up a little bit out there. But anyway, my question is, the season's over in most parts, except for down south, and everything's come to an end. So my question to you is, what happens now? Like, is there downtime for these teams, operators, or, does work start up again, right away for next season, or do they wait till the spring? I'm just curious how that all works.
For the most part, everybody takes a breath for a week or two. Then there's 5 million cars up for sale because the place they raced at or the series they raced in are stupid. Everybody's pissed off, tired, spent a bunch of money. I get it. Listen, I've lived it. And then, after that, things settle in a little bit and you start to take your car apart, work on it, start looking, thanking your partners and looking for new ones or re-establishing your current partners. And then you realize that what you're doing is actually pretty damn good. So you change direction and take the car down from trying to sell it because there's 5,000 for sale at the same time. It's typical, and I get it and I respect it because I was one of those people for a while. And, at this time of year, it's just that time of year. It's a grind, man. I don't care what sport it is. It's a grind. Racing's a grind. It's hard in the family. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of investment. So I respect all those guys and girls. And it's just part of how it goes.
So they're trying to figure things out. And as soon as they do, it's going to be basically like there's no time off.
Full bore ahead. These guys and girls will start to rebuild their stuff, and it doesn't end.
So what about the track operators? Like, when do they have meetings, or how do they determine the schedules, and when does that happen?
Yeah, it's really no different. Here in Ontario, all the paved oval tracks, as a matter of fact, earlier today, we had our first meeting of the season, and we haven't been able to really meet in person or sit down at the same table and throw stuff around for the past couple of years because of this damn COVID thing. But we met today, and I'll say it. It doesn't mean everything to all of our listeners all over North America, but in Ontario here, we had Grand Bend Speedway, Full Throttle Speedway, Sauble Speedway, Delaware Speedway, Peterborough Speedway. We were at Flamborough Speedway. They hosted it. Me from Jacassa, and Sunset Speedway, Brian. We had some tech officials there. We had all the track operators, and we touched on the schedule. We're getting, for the past 4 years, prior to COVID, where schedules changed every 3 minutes. We'd really work together to try to not step on each other's toes as much as we can. And, we had a great meeting. We reviewed the super stock rules, and that was something that's common rules amongst all the racetracks for the most part. Yeah, we had a great 3-4 hour meeting today, and we accomplished a lot. And it's, we left there some points that we assigned some duties to some people, and we're going to work on those. And we'll meet again, hopefully just before Christmas or after, for a second stage.
Any scoops you want to give us for our listeners?
No.
No? Okay. Fair enough. So there's lots going on right now. And as you say, Alex, no grass growing on a busy road.
Just got to take my hat off and have a look. You'll see that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then, we touched on the schedules today, and typically early in the new year, all the tracks will have their schedules out. And we talked about touring divisions that head around the province today, from the Oscar program to Legends and Can-Am Midgets, and Outlaw Super Late Models now are kind of out doing a little mini tour. So yeah, a lot of different divisions, of course, really focused on home track divisions, the stepping stones of the sport, but it was really good.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that, the shortened season we had this year was fairly good. There seemed to be a lot of people excited about it. I know there's a lot of people that can't wait to get at it next year. So hopefully soon we'll have some news, but until then.
Yeah. One thing I want to say before we head to our guest is that I think for the fans and for the race teams and racers, they have always wanted us oval track paved promoters, operators to work together. And they've seen it in the past few years, but I can tell you that the group is as strong as ever, and we all want to do the right thing. We're trying to make it, we understand the importance of making it as best as we can for everybody. So yeah, it's really a great group of people, and we made a lot of strides today.
Oh, that's great. All right. You ready to get to our guest?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, Jamie, Mark here. Super nice to meet you, and welcome to Driver in Deep, and really nice to have you on with us today.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. It's kind of cool to be doing this.
Hey, Coxie, Nagy here. It's nice to have you on, like Mark said. But I got to ask you, man, before we get going here, I am so confused now, but I got to get to the bottom of this. how many nicknames do you have? So some call you Coxie, of course, like I just did. That seems to be, the easiest one. Then there's Dickie.
Yeah.
We spent a weekend in Indianapolis one night at PRI, and all of a sudden it was Silver Balls. That was me or Ramsey that brought that up. And then I'm looking at your Facebook page, and it's The Quiet Storm. Dude, what is it? And then, actually, I should add one more because I'm talking to a friend of yours about how I can get you talking because you're so quiet. And he said, well, there's another nickname. It's all called Four Beer. So explain, because I'm sure our listeners are just as confused because I've, sort of got Silver Balls coming on. They're like, is that your grandpa? Like, dude, what the hell is your nickname? Who give these to you? And what do you prefer?
I don't know. It's Coxie obviously has been my nickname for a long time. That's natural one. Dickie's been for quite a while. That one backfired on me because I tried to call Luke that one, and he turned it around, and I ended up being Dickie.
Ah, okay.
And it just stuck. I don't know why.
So who called you Silver Balls, me or Ramsey?
That was you.
It was me. Okay, I couldn't remember. That was I was tired that night in Indianapolis, so I didn't know if somebody else. I remember leaving home with Silver Balls, and I kind of like it. So I don't even know what it means, but I have my reasons.
Well, and our listeners don't know, but we're doing this interview over Skype, and I'm sure it's the same for all three of us, but I'm pretty sure that you didn't get the nickname Coxie because you were steering a boat down the Henley Regatta somewhere.
No, it's not that.
Anyway, Jamie, I'm sure you've heard this before, but don't worry about what Alex has to say. And with the risk of starting the same way all the time, and before we get into your accomplishments, how did you get started in motorsports, and in what division?
Basically, I got started. Well, my dad had always been into cars, and he drag raced a bit. He stock car raced before I remembered. I was back in Nowstown Speedway back way long time ago. And then I helped a guy when basically the inception of CASCAR started. I don't know if you remember Rick Degas. Alex might remember him. I used to help him, and that's kind of where I learned a lot of stuff. And from there, I went on to help another, my buddy. He got an enduro car and decided to build one. I think we were 17, or he was 16 and I was 18. Decided we're going to build an enduro car, do that. And he drove half the race and I drove the other half of the race. And that's basically how I started enduro. And then from there, I did that for a while. I drag raced for 3 years. And then I went into the modified and did that for quite a while.
I didn't know you drag raced. I missed that part, man.
Maybe
you told me in Indy and I maybe was tired then again. But man, that enduro class all over Ontario, but at Delaware, it was awesome. And, I think about Bookie and all those guys, and there's so many that have moved up. Yeah. But I also recall you and your buddy Barry Newman were battling all the time in that division. And you mentioned about going to modifieds at Delaware. And I think Barry went at the same time, didn't he? And you guys ended up being rivals in that deal too. And what a division that enduro class was. There's still enduros today, of course, but at that time, man, enduros were still V8s, and those things were badass. There was some serious racing going on there.
Oh, it was that's back when there was 200 cars. It was 3 wide from the start finish line to pass the back straightaway halfway down, and it was nuts. If you started at the back, you were getting past before you even got to move.
Crazy.
It taught you a lot of traffic driving skills. That's the one thing.
I believe it.
So you move to the modified division at Delaware and go on to win 9 open wheel modified track championships. Your first was 1999 and your last was 2010. But I see you didn't win the championship between 2006 and 2008. What happened there?
Those years were tough. That's when Barry Newman got a new McCall car. Mark Watson got a new McCall car, and they stepped the game up. And I fell a little bit behind, I feel, then, and that's what happened there, I think.
I think that's when he got the nickname Silver Balls. He dropped the drop, got caught with his pants down.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's been different times, man. You told me about all these championships you won, and I thought, not following it and recording it, had my own stuff I was trying to take care of. I thought you were BSing me all the time. Then I actually texted a couple buddies that, I'm not even going to mention their names, Jamie Maudsley and a few other people. And they're like, oh yeah, no, he won 9 modified championships. I thought, let's get this guy on. He is actually pretty good. But listen, that was a hell of a run, man. Not many people have done that.
Well, there was actually 5 in a row at one point.
Which was what, 99 to or 2000 to 2005.
Yeah.
Crazy. Good for you guys. And hell of a run. Then you moved to late models after that. And what year is it that you moved to that division? And then when you go to late models, you win 2 more track championships.
Yeah, I think it was 09. We went to the late model.
And you won a championship the first year then?
No, it was 2013. We won the track championship at Delaware. And gotcha. I believe it was 2016. We won a Triple Crown championship at Delaware.
Nice.
So Alex tells me you're not a very vocal guy. And with all the success, I'm starting to see where the Quiet Storm nickname came from. Do you have any idea how many features you've won to date?
I don't. I wish we would have kept track of it, and I don't really know. Like,
you think 100, Coxie?
I would have to almost think it'd be close to that.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, that's great. So you have all this Delaware success, and then you go to the APC series when it started, and you had some good seasons, but unfortunately no wins. And we talk all the time about how competitive that series is, but are you surprised that you don't have at least one win in that series? I'm not asking you to be cocky about it or anything, but you've been close so many times.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed I never got to win at least one race because I was so close. Like, there was years I finished second like 3 or 4 times, and it's just like right there, but there was just somebody that was better. We were at their home track and I'd get beat by them. Yeah, not to make excuses, but it's just tough sledding out there with those guys in that series.
It's tough. And like Mark said, when I was looking back, I figured for sure you'd won at least one, and that's an accomplishment. But yeah, it just goes to show you how tough it is, man.
Yeah, it's that is some of the best, I think, right there in that series.
So how did the first APC race go for you, buddy?
We finished second.
How did it go before that?
Oh, well, we had a brand new car.
Did you have to go get a backup or something?
Yeah, we went to Sunset day early because they were having a practice. We were there on the Friday. We took the car out and it had a major oil leak, and everything was brand new. It had a new Ford motor in it and everything. It's like, what is going on? We took it apart, tried to seal it up and go back out, and it would still leak oil. And it's like, this is no good. We're not fixing this thing. So me and Luke decided, okay, we better load up. Phoned the couple guys that were going to come down on the Saturday and said, go out in the shop and start getting that other car ready because we got to take it now. So the boys went at it, and we came home and dropped the one car off, picked the other one up, and drove back.
What time did you get back to Sunset?
It was probably like 3 or 4 in the morning. So yeah, it was a long night, but we still ran well on the old car. We finished second that night.
One of your second place finishes, buddy.
They got beat by Baker.
Was that?
I was leading until about lap 75. And then they watch out for Baker at the end because he'll come. Sure.
Did he kick your ass that day with his little 602?
Yeah, he did.
I didn't want to bring that up. Here I am. Here we are. We're bragging your ass up here on the podcast, and you get beat by a 602 with your 604.
Yeah, but that guy was very good in that limited at Sunset.
Oh yeah. No, listen, Baker's a hell of a wheel man.
Yeah.
I'd get him on here too, but shit, it's hard to get you to talk. I don't think you get Baker to say. We'd have to get about 4 bottles of whiskey in him.
Yeah, I think so.
And Mark does the editing. He'd have to speed the speed up by about 20 every time Baker talked. Listen, Coxie, I know, man, you have a shop full of race cars. Are you ever going to get anything finished? Like, tell me the story. Like, are you going to come back in the track? I mean, 2-3 years ago, I'm going to come up with a modified. It's still under tarps. You buy a new super stock. I'll have that thing ready. Dude, have you touched it in the past 6 months? Like, what do you got in the shop? Tell everybody, what do you got in the shop right now? Oh, come on. What do you got hiding in there?
There's the super stock, which I bought it as just a bare chassis from Mike. So I had to finish. Everything had to be done. It's not, I just don't buy these rollers and go racing. I build everything. So that's why that thing's still not done.
Whatever.
It will be. It will be. And it might not be driving. It might be my kid, but.
oh, here we go. So that was my question. Are you going to get back out on the track?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Good.
I never said I retired. I just took a break. That's all. Never say you're retiring, because I watched too many people say that and come back.
I hear you.
I haven't seen Nagy behind the wheel in a while.
That's why I asked about the super stock, because I hadn't said I retired. And if he gets that thing ready, I know. Listen, I seen him here at Jacassa racing, and it wasn't silver balls, it was no balls. So I'm thinking there may be a chance for me.
All right. Kevin. All right. So, Jamie, your son raced bone stocks this year.
Yep.
How exciting is it that helping?
Hang on a sec.
Oh,
so Coxie forgot to tell us about the bone stock in the garage.
Oh,
Said the super stock, said the modified. Yeah.
The super stock, the bone stock, and the modified.
So,
the modified,
you're
20%.
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark. His son Jay went bone stock racing. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay. And I was just going to ask you, how exciting is it helping him? And does he want to keep at it at this point? And the second part of that question is going to be, your son-in-law, Shay Gemmel, is a well-known late model star. And I see you crewed a bunch for him in the past couple of seasons. Is that what's kind of keeping you from getting back behind the wheel a little bit?
Yeah, I think so, because I was helping him, and I wanted him to do well, and that took time away from me working on my stuff. So he did well. So it made up for it, I guess. And as far as my J racing, yeah, like it was, I was more nervous watching him race than when I raced myself. It's hard to explain when your kid races watching it, but you're nervous. Like I was a bag of nerves.
Yeah.
Bone stock, but just watching him, and then he actually surprised me, and he did well. So
that's why he's going to get this nice new super stock, maybe.
He's not just going to get it; he's going to have to work for it, and that's
that a boy.
Yeah,
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. So speaking of Jay and the bone stock, I have to ask you, because again, I know some people you know, and this year at Delaware, of course, you were the head wrench in the car. Fair to say?
Yeah.
Crew chief, head wrench, whatever you want to call. And typically, those people are responsible for the car. Fair?
Yeah.
So in that case, with you being such a great guy, straight up, straight shooter, honest.
I don't like where this is going.
I'm just wondering, like, did you pass inspection every week?
Every week except for the last one.
Oh.
On a technicality as far as I'm concerned.
Oh. No, I just wondered because I was in a meeting today with your buddy Timmermans, and I said Cox is going to be recording on the podcast here, and I said, "Oh, that cheating bastard!" Something like that. I'm not sure how he said it. It's probably more professional than that because he's a pretty professional guy. But I had to ask. So apparently, it says that you have to run a sway bar, right?
No, it didn't say that.
Oh, but if you did run one,
yeah, as far as I'm concerned.
So you didn't have to run one, but if you did run one, you should probably hook it up.
Yeah, that's
fair enough.
Quality.
Well, why do you have it on there if you're not going to hook it up?
It's not now.
It's not on?
No, it's gone now. When we went to Flamborough, it got cut off. It's gone.
How'd you do at Flamborough?
I think he finished 13th for his first time there. I thought Not
Oh,
bad.
that's
The
good.
gearing wasn't right, so next time we go, it would be better.
I just had to put a bit of darkness on your on your background because you're such a straight shooter, such a good dude, and finally, like that's all the dirt I could get on Jamie Cox Silver Ball 4 beer.
Jamie, do you have
listen, I
anything
gotta
on
ask you-
Alex? Now would be a good
He's got-
time.
Nah, not a lot.
Alex, what are you doing? You must be paying
I'm like
our guests.
Coxie. I'm like Coxie. I'm a respectable dude. Don't run my mouth.
Oh God.
Stay away from the
Okay,
parties.
you know what? I was watching an old CASCAR video the other night,
Oh,
and I think it said from '97 or something at Delaware. It was on
Okay.
YouTube, and you were in it, and your car, you caused a yellow, but then your car just took off again. I don't understand.
oh. I think. Well, back then, Coxie, as you know, we ran chokes, and
Oh,
when the car stalled,
Oh.
I couldn't get the choke to engage, and
Nowadays, it's
I-
frowned against.
yeah, it is. It is. And as a matter of fact, on this side of the fence, I hate it. So there's penalties usually whenever I'm part of it. So, anyways, listen, you know what? They let me get away with it. It is what it is. Kind of like your sway bar.
Yep, that's right. Well, I didn't get away with it though.
No,
Yeah,
you're not as
cut
smart
it
as-
off. All right.
I thought
so,
you were going to watch the CASCAR race, and then afterwards you come up and got my autograph or something.
I don't think so. I probably was there down in the pits doing something.
On an opposing team trying to
Yeah,
kick my
probably.
ass.
Probably.
all right. So we're going to do our rapid fire segment now, Jamie. And the idea behind this is that I'm going to ask you 10 questions and you're going to answer very quickly, just the first thing that comes to mind on the top of your head.
All right.
All right. Here we go.
Yep.
What track have you enjoyed the most?
Delaware Speedway.
You're not done yet, as you said, but if you were to start again, what would you do differently?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Or would you?
I don't think so. I don't think I would. I think I had a pretty good run. Really.
All right.
I don't
Late
think-
model or modified?
Ooh. I still have to say the modified. I really enjoyed wheeling the modifieds. They're just a different animal. It's a different car to drive.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, obviously I've had more success in it, but they're fun to drive. Even when we were running the late model, we'd bring the modified out once in a while. Just different to drive it.
Okay. I think I already know the answer to this question, and I know Alex's answer and my answer, but beer or whiskey?
Ooh. You start off the night with beer and then you switch to whiskey.
Not if you're around Alex or his brother.
No. Yeah, you got to be careful with him.
Oh, are you referring to maybe a test session at Chicasa back in 2017, 18, something like that?
Yeah.
That was a long day
Yeah.
for you and your crew.
Yeah.
It
It was.
was fun. Sorry, Mark. Get back
The
to
fact that
rapid
you
fire.
can't remember the year tells me something. All right. If you were told you can race one more time, what type of race car would you still like to wheel?
I'd really like to try a super late model.
Like the Outlaws?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one car I always wanted to try. I thought they were pretty awesome. Just couldn't afford the motors in them.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty easy question here. Best thing about racing?
All the people that you meet.
I agree.
Great answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Met so many awesome people through racing, and become friends with a lot of them.
Testing, yes or no?
No,
Good answer.
too much money drives the cost up.
Yes. You know what, Mark, I want to break up your rapid fire, but I think this is an important question. I want to get Coxie's take on it a tick, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Because testing in our sport into asphalt racing is so overrated and is so expensive. And I'm glad you said that. You had great sponsors and partners and probably could afford testing for the most part. But the fact that you say that, I think carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, like I know we've done it before. Like, and we've even done it at Sunset. You go the Friday and you test. We had the car really good. The next day, it's different.
Junk.
Different. Yeah, it was junk.
Or how many times you went and tested all day?
Money.
Yeah, you go there and you leave after 6 hours with what you started with.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't. Pretty hot topic, I think, in our industry, our type of racing, and I just wanted to get your take because I value it. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Okay, so yay or nay, technology in racing?
I like it, but you have to stay with it, or else you're gonna fall behind big time.
Can we have too much?
Yeah, because it leaves some guys not being able to do their own stuff anymore.
Yep. Best driver you ever raced against?
I'd probably have to say Brennan Watson.
Yeah, pretty tough cookie.
Yeah, for sure.
He's one of the best.
Okay, now this one's going off racing here, and I'm taking a poll, so I'm hoping that you're going to answer the right way here. Your favorite hockey team?
It would have to be Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, my God.
Coxie. So Mark, I already screwed up your rapid fire, man, and I apologize. But Coxie's got his opinion, I think, holds a lot of weight. So I had to ask some of those other questions. Oh, wait, did I just say his opinion holds a lot of weight?
Yeah, you did.
Coxie, I'm going to leave it at this.
In motorsports.
Listen, remember, you just met Mark. I don't want you to beat the guy up. You first time face to face. I know you talked to him on the phone or something one time when we were deck racing. But listen, Mark's favorite hockey team. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Actually, if you have anything from this city, he loves you. But his favorite hockey team is Buffalo.
Okay.
See,
I've gone to watch a hockey game before, but
great place to watch a game, isn't it?
Not because of Buffalo.
Now, I swear, in getting ready for this interview, I was on your Facebook page, and I thought I saw something about you cheering for the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
That was when the fat thumbs get pushing the wrong buttons on the Facebook.
That was after the beer.
Yeah, or the whiskey.
Watch them.
Oh, well, they didn't put up much of a fight last night.
No.
I call them the Henderson Golden Knights last night.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Buffalo is such a shit show.
Anyway.
Listen to Coxie.
We already talked about that.
Podcast, and I just tell Coxie, listen to the intro.
Okay.
And he'll get it.
Yeah.
And if you've not listened to our podcast, listen to the intros. Because, Mark, if Buffalo Sabres had, and I have to watch what I say here without getting in trouble. If they had, if Mark's dad, how do I say this?
I don't know.
I'm not even going to say it. Anything Buffalo, he comes from St. Catharines, so anything Buffalo. Hey, he had no chance. He sent me a picture of him like 3 years old in this homemade friggin' Buffalo Sabres Zamboni his mom and dad put him in. He doesn't even know what other hockey teams are. He has no choice. He was a Buffalo. His dad forced him. Did you pick your own hockey team, Coxie, or did somebody force you?
No, it would have been me. Only because Toronto's close.
Fair enough.
Actually, I know our viewer or our listeners can't see this, but I hope you guys can. You might not be able to either.
Dude.
Hang on. It's coming. Oh, no. Can't see
Don't worry about it because I will be posting it on the Facebook page.
There. Can you see that?
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah. So that's me. And that's what I was forced to wear when I was 4 years old.
Oh, and you knew the difference.
Did you see that with the little mouth guard there? And
Mark, your dad I love your dad. He's a great guy. But he brainwashed you, man. Anyways, listen, ramble on here. Listeners don't want to hear your crap anymore, McSwarn.
Yeah.
Cox, thanks for joining us, buddy. I hope you get back out there again. If you can't find a driver for that super stock, I know a guy. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Glad you came on. We appreciate it a lot.
It was great to meet you as well.
You too, Mark. Great to be on here and talk some stories.
Well, I hope to have you. Oh, Alex wants to finish off here, but I will.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, absolutely. We're ready to go.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, best of luck to you next year and whatever you decide to do. And it was great to meet you in person. And that was Alex that called you on his birthday. It had nothing to do with me.
Well, we're wide open sideways.
All right, you're clear.
The talk is cheap.
You're clear on this.
We got the foot to the floor. We're gonna drive her in.